Annie pressed her forehead against the cool glass of the observation deck, watching the swirling nebula outside the Galactic Academy station. 3 months into her exchange program, and she still couldn't believe she was here, the first human students, among thousands of alien species, all learning together in the vast emptiness of space. "You nervous about tomorrow?" Massey's voice broke through her thoughts. He leaned against the railing beside her, his reflection ghostly in the transparent aluminum. "Physical education assessment. Should I be?" Annie turned to face him, noticing the concern in his eyes. Massey shrugged. "I overheard some Zenthri students talking. They said it's designed to challenge every species' limitations. Apparently, last year, 40% of students failed." The next morning, Annie and Massey arrived at Gymnasium Complex 7 along with their class, a diverse collection of beings that looked like they'd stepped out of humanity's wildest science fiction dreams. Their instructor, Professor Krell, was a towering insectoid creature with compound eyes that seemed to assess every student simultaneously. "Welcome to your physical education assessment." Krell's translator device buzzed. "Today, you will face obstacles designed by the finest military minds across 12 galactic sectors. This course tests strength, endurance, agility, and problem-solving under physical duress." A holographic display materialized, showing a nightmarish obstacle course, climbing walls that shifted mid-ascent, balance beams over simulated acid pools, rope swings across chasms, and a final gauntlet requiring participants to carry heavy objects while navigating uneven terrain. "The average completion time is to standard hours," Krell continued. 30% typically cannot complete it at all. "Your species parameters have been loaded into our systems. The course will adjust accordingly." Annie glanced at Massey. Neither spoke, but both understood the system knew nothing about human capabilities. Earth had been classified as a death world in the galactic database, a planet with gravity, atmospheric pressure, and environmental hostility that made most aliens shudder. But the Academy's physical parameters for humans were still theoretical estimates. "Humans, you're in Group 7, Krell announced. "Begin when ready." They stepped up to the starting line with 3 other students, a gelatinous Phloxian, a bird-like Avirath, and a crystalline Litharian. The Phloxian immediately looked worried, its translucent body rippling with anxiety. "This is designed for warriors," it bubbled through its translator. "I'm a mathematics major." The buzzer sounded. Annie and Massey moved instinctively. The first obstacle was a wall 10 meters high, textured like rough stone. Annie's fingers found holds that would challenge a rock climber, and she pulled herself upward. Her muscles, conditioned by Earth's crushing gravity, made short work of what was supposed to be an endurance test. Beside her, Massey climbed with steady efficiency. They reached the top in under a minute. Below, their alien classmates struggled. The Phloxian oozed upward slowly. The Avirath's lightweight frame made finding purchase difficult. Only the Litharian managed a decent pace, its crystalline structure providing natural grip. "That was fast," Annie heard Krell's translator crackle from below. The balance beam came next, narrow, slick, and positioned over a pool of holographic acid that would register as a failure if touched. The beam shifted randomly, tilting without warning. Annie had done gymnastics as a child. Her inner ear, evolved to navigate Earth's varied terrain, adjusted automatically to each shift. She walked across as casually as if crossing her dorm room. Massey, who'd played soccer and parkour in his teens, followed with equal ease. Behind them, the Avirath attempted flight, but was pushed back by regulation gravity dampeners. The Litharian moved with agonizing slowness, calculating each step. Professor Krell's mandibles clicked together, an expression none of the humans understood, but which meant profound confusion in his species. The rope swing section proved even more revealing. Students had to swing across a 15-meter gap using ropes that hung at irregular intervals. It required upper body strength, timing, and spatial awareness. Annie grabbed the first rope, her grip firm despite the sweat on her palms. She swung, released, caught the next rope mid-arc, and continued the sequence. Massey followed, his athletic build making the challenge look effortless. They completed the section in under 3 minutes. The course record was 8. "Impossible," Krell muttered, checking his data pad repeatedly. The system must be malfunctioning, but it wasn't. As Annie and Massey progressed through the course, climbing nets, crawling under barriers, sprinting through uneven terrain while carrying weighted packs, a crowd began to gather. Students from other groups stopped their attempts to watch. Faculty members appeared, whispering among themselves. The final obstacle was the gauntlet, a 100-meter stretch of unstable ground platforms that tilted, sank, or rotated randomly while carrying a 30-kilogram weight pack. Designed to be proportional to each species' strength capacity. Annie hoisted her pack. It felt heavy, but manageable, like carrying a loaded backpack on a hiking trail back home. She began navigating the platforms, her reflexes compensating for each shift and tilt. Massey grunted under his pack's weight but kept pace. They'd both grown up on a planet where everything was harder, heavier, more dangerous. This was just Tuesday. They crossed the finish line together. The gymnasium fell silent. Professor Krell approached, his compound eyes fixed on his data pad. 27 minutes, he said quietly. You've completed an academy record. The previous best was 53 minutes, held by a Korthian warrior cadet. Annie and Massey exchanged glances. Was it supposed to be harder? Annie asked. Harder? Krell's translator sputtered. This course was designed to push elite military candidates to their absolute limits. We've had students hospitalized. We've had decorated soldiers weep with frustration. Oh, Massey said, suddenly understanding. You didn't realize. Realize what? Earth's gravity is nearly 3 times standard. Our atmosphere requires constant respiratory adaptation. Our planet has weather patterns that would classify as natural disasters on most worlds. Annie explained. We've been training in a gym that's 3 times easier than what we're used to. Krell was silent for a long moment. Your planet was classified as unsuitable for colonization. Category 9 Death World. We assumed you would be fragile, that your species survived through intelligence and tool use alone. We do use those. Massey grinned. But when your planet actively tries to kill you every day, you get pretty good at not dying. Word spread quickly through the academy. By evening, the humans were minor celebrities. But Annie and Massey sat in the cafeteria, eating their meals, unbothered by the attention. Think they'll make the course harder for us next time? Annie asked. Massey laughed. Probably. But hey, at least we made Earth look good. They clinked their drinks together. To students from a death world who'd accidentally proven that humanity belonged among the stars.